Hey, what's up, everybody? DA here from Two Daves and a Mic. This is the Shelby Golden Lions spinoff podcast. The Golden Lions got off to a winning start to the 2026 season following the state championship in 2025 tonight at home against Kings Mountain in the Battle of Buffalo Creek. I understand, if I understood correctly, Shelby leads the series now 75, 23, and 7 ties. So in 105 matchups between these two, Shelby has won 75 of those. Now, granted, there were a lot of years that Shelby dominated this series. And actually, Kings Mountain has won, I think, 8 out of the last 11, potentially. So Kings Mountain has definitely been dominating of late. Beat Shelby last year at their place to open the season, but tonight it was a different story. Shelby got out to a 28-7 lead and held on to win it 28-21. And when I say held on, I do have a comment about that, so we'll talk about that in just a minute. But it was an interesting night from the standpoint of you had a new quarterback for both schools. For Shelby, it was the sophomore Cruz Scott, and he did not disappoint tonight for the Golden Lions. I believe it was 221 yards on the ground. A couple of his big-time receivers tonight, Manuel Collins, man, 6 catches for 72 yards, and J.J. Williams had 5 catches for 55 yards and a touchdown. So a nice, good night for Cruz Scott in his debut as the signal caller for Shelby. We did see Kendrick Raper, I think, just one snap tonight, and that was all for Kendrick at quarterback tonight. I know they had several options tonight in the heavy set wildcat formation type thing where they direct snapped it just to Jonas Woods. Actually, Julius Brooks had the first touchdown of the game on a direct snap wildcat situation, but Jonas Woods 2 touchdowns tonight, and I think potentially one of those came out of the wildcat. Actually, I think both of those ended up coming out of the wildcat. But anyway, 21-7 lead at halftime for Shelby, got it up to 28-7, and then the thing that has killed Shelby for years and years and years, we can't cover a kick. Kicked off after taking the 28-7 lead. Kings Mountain ran it back 91 yards for a touchdown to cut it to 28-14. And it still, at that point, looked like Shelby was going to run the clock out. Couple of 5-minute drives in the second half in order to really kind of put Kings Mountain behind the 8 ball in the second half. But then Kings Mountain, with like 5 minutes to go in a game, hit a 69-yard touchdown pass to cut it to 28-21. Shelby got the ball back, was able to run some clock, but then turned it over on downs. Kings Mountain then had a chance to take it down and or possibly tie the game up. Were not able to do that. And of course, then the Golden Lions were able to hang on. Couple of issues, 11 penalties tonight for Shelby for 85 yards, I believe. The penalty issue tonight was with Kings Mountain, 16 penalties for 120 tonight for Kings Mountain. So definitely more of a problem tonight for Kings Mountain than Shelby in the penalty department. No turnovers for either team, and that's especially interesting because Kings Mountain started a freshman quarterback. I mentioned earlier that both teams had new quarterbacks. Kings Mountain went with the freshman, the Jenkins kid. I'm going to look just to make sure I get his name correct. But he is the freshman. Jordan Jenkins is his name. And actually, he was pretty much the show tonight for Kings Mountain. He was able to scramble the football at times, run the football at times without a scramble, just a designed run. But he was 21 of 30 for like 230. And Kings Mountain only had 280 yards of total offense. So tonight, the Jordan Jenkins kid, I think, is going to be something special. But again, it was his first start, and they missed their jamboree last Friday night against at Stuart Cramer, not necessarily against Stuart Cramer, although they may have been going to play Stuart Cramer. But that got rained out. A lot of heat. I know that there were people on all kinds of social media. Couldn't understand why this game didn't get moved to Thursday night. Couldn't understand why this game didn't get moved to tomorrow night. Listen, I'm going to tell you, they moved it up from a 7:30 to a 6:30 start. Game was played with beautiful weather. No rain, not a single drop of rain tonight on the football field during the game. And they got it in without issue tonight over at Shelby High School. And the Golden Lions pull out the 28-7, the 28-21. It was 28-7 at one point. My critique tonight, or my criticism tonight, and again, it is what it is. It's, just people talking. But Matthew Grenier did a tremendous job for the last year kicking the football. Had 2 opportunities tonight where it was 4th and long in easy field goal range. The last one, they were on the 14-yard line. So you're talking about a 31-yard field goal for Matthew. The way he kicks the ball on PATs and kickoffs, he's got plenty of leg for a 31-yarder. The one earlier than that was probably in that same range. Didn't even think about going for the field goal. They went for the touchdown. Now, I do understand that when maybe it was still 14-7, and they didn't think, obviously at that point in the game, they wanted to get a touchdown if they could. But when they were up 28-14, they had an opportunity to kick the field goal to go up 31-14 and did not take the chance. And so then you're kind of, holding on at the end thinking, oh no, here we are. We've messed around and given Kings Mountain an opportunity late in the ballgame to hit a big play, which they did to get it to 28-21 on the 69-yard touchdown. And that was a broken play. The Jenkins kid, as I mentioned, he's athletic. He's moving around the pocket, got a guy cutting back across the grain, and he zoomed it for 69 yards. And that was a freshman as well. So that was freshman to freshman. That was Tyler Boyd, I think was his name. And I say that, and I remember Cincinnati Bengals had a Tyler Boyd a few years ago. So it may not be Tyler Boyd, but it was a Boyd kid for Kings Mountain who had the 69-yard touchdown. And listen, that can happen anytime. So, we're able to satisfy and get out of there. Actually had a sack of Jenkins on the last play of the game when they were down with, just a couple of seconds left trying to throw one deep, and a sack ended the ball game tonight for Shelby. Defense played well outside of that big 69-yard touchdown. They gave up a touchdown in the first half on an extended drive for Kings Mountain. It was a good drive for Kings Mountain. And then they gave up the kickoff return. So that's not against the defense. So against ones against ones, defense gave up 2 tonight, 1 in the first half, 1 in the second half, and the offense scored 4. So that's a good night for Shelby, no question about it. A lot will be said about Kings Mountain playing with a young quarterback and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so was Shelby. And the other thing is obviously the Golden Lions got the win tonight. And again, Shelby is a 3A school. Kings Mountain is a 6A school. And trust me, I've been in that building. I know about that situation. They got 500 more kids than Shelby does. That's a noticeable thing when you're standing on cafeteria duty at Kings Mountain and they got 500 more kids. It's noticeable. And so I'm just saying, when you're 6A versus 3A, good win for Shelby tonight. And again, a tough loss for Kings Mountain, but I don't think they got anything to be ashamed about. That's for sure. And like I said, this kid, the quarterback, Jordan Jenkins for Kings Mountain, is going to be special. And the question will be, the way things go these days, can they keep him? Will somebody not come up and try to get him to go to, wherever, whatever? And we'll just have to wait and see. But anyway, he's there and he looks really good right now, and almost brought Kings Mountain back in the fourth quarter. So hats off to him for sure. Kings Mountain now will host Burns next Friday night. That game at John Gamble Stadium. And, of course, they're excited about opening up the new John Gamble Stadium after all the renovation that has taken place. I saw a video this week kind of chronicling that. They got a new press box. And they got new stands on the home side. So what they've done on the home side is that concrete home side has been completely covered with aluminum seating now. So they have some booster club seating that's got the backs on the chairs, and then they've got a complete different look to the home side of John Gamble Stadium now. Plus they got the new press box. I mean, I wish they would have used some black paint on that press box. It's a little loud, but who, again, that's personal preference. So, good luck to them next week. Shelby, on the other hand, plays Crest next week. Crest and Burns play tomorrow, Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock. That game is at Sid Bryson Stadium, big county rival. And then, of course, another big county rival next Friday night for Shelby as they travel over to Sid Bryson Stadium to play Crest next Friday night. That's a quick take on the early season opener for the Shelby Golden Lions. Again, a win tonight over Kings Mountain, 28-21, in defense of the state 3A championship last year. The Golden Lions are 1-0. The Mountaineers are 0-1. Hey, listen, if you're watching this and you want to hear something else other than just a little quick recap, let me know. And I'll, I get somebody, Juice was on with me last year. I hadn't talked to Juice. We might get Juice back on. We might get somebody else on with me on a Friday night. But, hey, that's it for DA and 2 Daves and a Mic, Golden Lions spinoff podcast. Peace.